Hey, I'm Dominic Santana, and you're watching Worldwide Entertainment TV.
And you're watching Worldwide Entertainment TV.
Welcome to Worldwide Entertainment TV. We have the privilege of having Mr. Eric Farber, author, celebrity, athlete, attorney. Thank you for joining us today on Worldwide Entertainment TV, Mr. Farber.
Hey, thank you very much. Please, Eric is just fine.
Who have been some of your clients?
Well, it's funny. The Tupac Shakur estate for 18 years was my main client. Probably took up 50% of my time. But I also, I worked with Dre. Did a case for Dre at one point. Eazy-E, Ruthless, Priority, Death Row, Biggie's merchandising, and it was sort of a lot of the old school rappers, right? Mm-hmm. I worked with Andre Ward, who was the Olympic gold medalist, who retired undefeated as a boxer. Vernon Davis was one of my clients. He was a great guy to work with because he was very entrepreneurial. He owned Jamba Juices and an art gallery. He was. And I worked with probably about 150 pro athletes over the course of my career, and then tons of people that we've sort of never heard of, right? That are just great artists and creators. And
who would you say was like the best experience to work with? Who was like the most amazing client you ever had?
Wow, that's a tough one. So I'm not gonna pick one, and I think the experience of working with Afeni Shakur for so many years was quite an amazing one, right? I was a young lawyer. They took a chance on me. I was solo. I had just finished a stint in Hollywood working as a junior producer for a film company that was based at Sony, and then prior to that, I'd been working at a talent agency. And they hired me to do some trademark and copyright infringement work, and they were one of the most stolen. Tupac was one of the most stolen artists in history, and they took a chance on me as a young lawyer to go do some cases, and I ended up working for them for 18 years, and I did all sorts of different stuff, right? Whether it was dealing with the construction of Afeni's house in North Carolina to the building of the Tupac Center in North Atlanta.
That really, I actually met Tupac in the 90s when he was filming the movie Juice.
Oh, wow.
And I come from a entertainment background. So over 35 years. So a lot of the people you mentioned, I was around when those people were getting started as well. Mm-hmm. So I had a deep passion for the whole Tupac, the passing of Tupac. I was a big Tupac fan. So when I came to Georgia, I got introduced to the center, the Tupac Center. So I actually have a picture of the statue on this shirt. Nobody has this picture. Wow. And Nigel Benn created this statue that they were going to replace where the bricks are. So I spent about 3 years working there as actually a volunteer, trying to develop the programs that Miss Afeni had envisioned the center would be and what the center was. I'm sure you know Mr. Jim Burnett that ended up purchasing the center.
I don't know, but I know when it was sold.
After the family lost the center, man, it was there for a long time, just abandoned. So a man ended up purchasing it and finding out the history on the building. So once he started finding out what it was about and who Tupac was and who Miss Afeni was and what the legacy was, they renamed the garden Legacy Garden Park. So they were trying to get a new statue built because the statue was taken. A lot of things were taken except for this it was kind of like a house that has Tupac's picture on it, and the bricks that are in the ground that surrounded the fountain, that's still there. So he tried to raise money and get the statue paid for. The statue was $1 million. And it was like we couldn't get anyone to help us do that. So time went on, we restored the center, we started, creating programs for the community, because a lot of people from the community would come say, if it wasn't for Miss Afeni, I couldn't have fed my kids. If it wasn't for Miss Afeni, we wouldn't have had anywhere to go. So she was really instrumental in that Stone Mountain community as being an outreach. So it just became so passionate for me. And the center got sold again, and now it doesn't even have the purpose or the legacy of what it was created for, and it just hurts me so bad. So how was it working with the family?
Afeni was great. I mean, she was tough as nails. I mean, all you have to do is know a little bit about her history, right? Tupac was Tupac, I always love this, that one of her punishments for Tupac, which became a daily ritual, was to read the New York Times from cover to cover. She was extraordinarily smart, and she was very good about, if something was to be done, that she let you do it and, sort of go back and report, so to speak. And there were definitely some tough times in the stuff that I was doing as well. But she was quite an amazing person to work for. She sort of became famous, obviously, because of her son. Yeah. But I think in her own right, she and as a recovering addict and her own background, I think she even without the success of Tupac, she would have gone on to quite an amazing life, regardless.
Yeah, it definitely was a very sad situation. So I know you mentioned the talent agency and you being a producer. So tell me about your work with Signature Films and about the curriculum that you taught.
Well,
Worldwide Entertainment TV, with the hottest topics, with the gossip, with the plug. We the plug, baby. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, click the link in the bio.